Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Katelyn and today we're filming our little monthly recap. It has been a hot minute, I think, since I have sat down and filmed an actual video just kind of talking to you guys other than a vlog. And it feels weird, if I'm totally honest with you. And to address the elephant in the room, there's a lot more of you here than there was a month ago. So I'm like, okay, it always feels a little bit weird when there's a bunch of new people watching. But I'm so glad you're here and I'm so thankful. But yeah, it just feels a little bit nerve-wracking. I have a bit of stage fright. But hi, welcome in. We are doing our monthly recap. Basically, if you're new here, we do this basically every month. I'm kind of changing up the way I do it this year, where normally in years past, I've talked about goals and set new goals for the month, but I'm not setting any goals for myself this year. And it's kind of working for me so far, if I'm honest. So I don't know, it's only the second month in, so here we are. But yeah, here we are. It is the end of the month, end of February. It's actually already the beginning of March, and by the time you're watching this, it's already a week into March, but we're here. We're gonna recap February. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of different things to talk about. I think majority of this month revolved around Disney World, so obviously we're going to talk about that quite a bit, but we'll just go over the regular monthly recaps, and then I figure what I'll do is I'll actually do a little bit of a bigger Q&A section at the end. Last month I think I only answered one question, but this time I'll answer a fair amount of questions, just because there's a lot of new faces around here and I want you guys to get to know me a little bit more than just, I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of Disney questions, but a little bit more than just Disney vlogs. So without further ado, let's jump in. So let's talk about our highlights of the month first. So obviously the biggest highlight of the month was going to Walt Disney World, of course. We got to go to Disney World with our best friends, Brianna and Corey, some of our best friends, Brianna and Corey. And yeah, it was amazing. It was more than I could have even asked for in a trip. It was so much fun. We went on with this trip without a hitch. So basically, a lot of people were asking when we were down there, they were like, did you guys plan this together? Was it just a fluke that you guys, met up at the same time? What happened basically? So Austin and I actually booked this February trip way back in, I think it was July of 2024, because again, we're DVC members. If you're new here, so with DVC, you can book your trips at your home resort. So the resort that you own DVC at, you can book those trips 11 months out. And then any other resorts that you want to stay at, you can book 7 months out. So right at the 7-month mark, we booked for this February trip because we knew we wanted to go in February, and we knew we wanted to stay at a different resort because our last trip we stayed at the Riviera, which is our home resort. But the Grand Floridian was the top of my list. And we had already stayed at the top of Austin's list, being Animal Kingdom Lodge a couple years ago. So it was we already knew we wanted to stay at the Grand Floridian, and we just lucked out that it was perfectly available, the exact room we wanted, same time, everything. So yeah, so we booked ours way back in July. And then when was it? I feel like it was before. It was either before or the same time of Brianna and Corey's Christmas trip, which I believe was end of November, early December. We had been in talks about them coming to visit us here in Canada. We kind of were talking about it and we looked into it, and it's drivable, but it's a long drive, and it's also flyable, but the flights to come here were more expensive for them than to just fly down to Disney. So Brianna was like, well, why don't we just meet you guys at Disney? And we were like, well, yeah, why not? So they ended up looking at flights and hotels and everything, and they ended up making a trip out of it. So that's kind of how we ended up planning the trip together. We knew we wanted to stay at separate hotels. Not that I wouldn't share a hotel with them, because we've shared hotels with friends before. We've shared rooms with friends before, and it's never been really an issue for us before. We had just known, one thing we had known was that we already booked a room that probably was going to feel a little bit too small for all 4 of us to be in. We also really wanted to have our first DVC staying experience, just the two of us, because our first trip as DVC members, we brought Austin's sister. So we kind of like wanted to have that. Brianna totally understood that. She was even the one that was like, no, we're not staying with you guys. You have to have your own space on your first trip, just the two of you. So they ended up looking at actually moderate hotels. And then, as you know, obviously from her vlogs, or if you don't know from her vlogs, she ended up surprising Corey and they upgraded to the Polynesian, which I will say, like, obviously it's not my money to spend. However, we said it to them multiple times and they said it too, like, for just the sole fact of like being at the same, like in the same vicinity as them, like being able to literally walk or monorail to each other when like we weren't doing park stuff was such a blessing. And it was so nice. Like, just, you know, we would come home from the parks at 9 o'clock, but we're like, well, we're not done hanging out yet. And if we were to want to go to each other's hotels, like we would have had to take taxis, or we had to take Ubers or Lyfts or whatever back to each other's hotels if we stayed, you know, at different vicinities. But the fact that we were just side by side, it just made it so effortless and easy. So that was just like such a blessing. And I'm so happy that they were able to upgrade their hotel and that they even wanted to. So yeah, that was like really fun and really exciting. So anyways, going with Brianna and Corey, such a fun trip. Literally couldn't have asked for a better trip if I had even dreamed up a better trip. Like, it was perfect all around. Loved February, loved going in February. I like loved being able to have a break from the weather here, the crazy snow and cold. It was just so nice to go down south, and like, even though the weather wasn't like hot, it was still just like a beautiful break from the snow, which we loved. I also am so excited that we were able to finally try out Festival of the Arts. That's been a festival that I've always wanted to try since it opened in Epcot like a handful of years ago. We just never obviously had planned a trip around that time. So that was like the main reason why we wanted to go in February, was so that we could do Festival of the Arts. And it was so much fun. It's seriously easily my favorite festival ever. It made Epcot so much more enjoyable for me, because if you know me or if you don't know me, my biggest gripe with Epcot, and the reason I put it as my least favorite park, is because I just hate the like pay to play aspect of the whole park. It's like you have to pay to have food in the different countries, and you have to, you know, do this and this and this. And it's like Festival of the Arts, even though yes, you have to still pay to do the food booths, they had so much more to just like look at and see that was all for free and included in just your regular park admission. So I loved Festival of the Arts. I will talk ad nauseum about it, but it was amazing. And then again, kind of looping back around to like the fact that we stayed at the Grand Floridian, like that was just a literal dream come true. Ever since I was a little girl, like I used to look at the Grand Floridian. We went twice when I went once as a kid, once as a teenager. But like I used to look at that hotel and be like, oh, like I would love to go there. Like I want to stay there. And like obviously going with Austin and I, as the years have gone on, I've just always said like that is the absolute dream hotel to stay at. So it's just like very amazing that we were able to stay at it this last trip. So other than Disney stuff, highlights of the month, we had a beautiful Valentine's Day. Austin and I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. We get each other cards, and Austin normally gets me flowers, and we normally get each other like a little something. This year we didn't do any gifts. We just did like, what did we do? We just did like candies and chocolate and stuff. But yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice at home. We had a beautiful dinner. We cooked steak and lobster tails and shrimp, and it was just so good. And we ended up watching a movie on the couch together, and it was just very nice, and I loved it. And then the other exciting thing, which is kind of like a spoiler for next week, but actually I guess the week when is this going out? Actually, when this goes out, we would have already got it, so not really a spoiler, but we got a new couch, which is exciting. We ended up going out to The Brick, which is a Canadian company, and we purchased a new couch, which is really exciting. The couches that we have in our living room currently are very old. We bought them from my mom's family friend probably, oh my gosh, probably like 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. So we've had them for a very, very, very long time. And when we moved into this place, like when we like started our lease here, I like knew I wanted to get new couches, but we were like, no, we don't need to get them right away. It's not a big deal. It's not an expense we need to spend on. But after living here for a year, I'm just like, I really want a couch. I really want a nice couch. I want something that we can cuddle on and like both chill on and like have other people over and we can all just like hang out on the couch. So yeah, very excited about it. Okay, let's quickly get into the lows. There's really not a lot of lows from this month, if I'm totally honest. The biggest low was just like, obviously, the Disney blues. It hits, and it hits hard, but, you know, this actually has been, which is crazy, I don't know why, but this has been the least Disney bluesy I have felt like ever. Even though it was like literally normally like your best trips are the ones you like crash from the most. This one, I don't know why. I have no clue why, but I have not felt anywhere near as low as I felt in the past. Obviously I still miss Disney and wish I was there, but it's not been as bad as normal, which I'm very thankful for. But the biggest thing was just like the weather. It was like when we got home, oh my gosh, the amount of snow that we got, I think we got over 50 centimeters in a week at least. And then it was like 3 weeks straight of that. So it's been crazy. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw like the snow, like the snowbanks are literally like higher than me. They're higher than our friend Brandon, who is 6'11", 6'10". I have no clue. But yeah, so very, very tall, lots of snow, very cold. So those were my highs and lows of the month. Quickly to jump into creators of the month. If you missed my last monthly recap last month, I talked about all of my favorite creators. I literally listed every single one of them in my video. I talked ad nauseum about each of them, and I showcased like who my favorite creators are. So if you didn't get to see that one or you missed it, go check out that video because that literally talks about all of them. So now I will get back into just kind of like highlighting who I've watched like the most this month. And basically the way I'm doing this is I'm just going to like my subscriptions, and like whoever's at the top of my subscription box for the month is who I want to talk about. So in no particular order. First up is my sweet friend, Erin Davila. I'm obsessed with Erin. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm just obsessed with her. I love her. If you love my stuff, you will love her. She's a Disney local, so she's there all the time, but she's also doing a lot of just like fun Orlando stuff, which is just like, she lives my dream, and I just like wish I could live there with her. And it's amazing, and I love her stuff, and I just love her as a person. And on our last trip, we got to meet her in person, and it just like solidified even more that I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously I love her. Like she's a great person, and like online and in person. So love her videos. Go check her out. She's going to Disneyland soon. So if you want Disneyland content, go check her out. And then of course, Brianna. Brianna has started uploading her Disney vlogs as well. She's a little bit ahead of me because she just uploads them faster than I do. But obviously I've just been like obsessed with watching Brianna's videos. It's so fun to watch your friends who vlog as well the same time that you vlog, because it's fun to see the like moments where you're not together on a vlog, but then also it's fun to see the moments of everybody together, just from a different point of view. So it's really fun. And then my sweet friend Gracie. Gracie, I said in my last video that I was like, she had only uploaded one video so far, and I was like, this is my hope that she continues to upload, and she has, and she's just been feeding me, and I'm so happy about it. So if you don't follow Gracie, go follow Gracie. She is just the sweetest thing ever. I'm obsessed with her content. She just films like cozy at home videos, and I love them. She's she's a hobby girl. She loves to read. She loves to junk journal. She's a Disney girly. Go watch her. Go check out Gracie. Literally my favorite. I love her so much. Jumping into food favorites, nothing really like specifically that I have been like, you know, hyper fixating on. However, we just got Chef's Plate for the first time last week. Not sponsored. But we got Chef's Plate for the first time last week because I was kind of just hitting a wall on this like decision fatigue. I hated every week having to be like, what are we gonna have for dinner? What are we gonna have for dinners this week? What do we need to buy? Whatever. And we used to do a meal kit service. We used to do HelloFresh, and we've done Good Food. Both of those meal kit services we've done. And not that I wasn't super impressed by them. They just honestly were getting expensive. So I was like, I don't know. So then I started looking up like what ones were cheaper. And Chef's Plate was the cheapest one that I was able to find. It's $9.99 a meal. Again, not sponsored. But if you're interested, $9.99 a serving. You're getting 3 meals a week. So 2 servings a day, you're getting 6 servings total. I think it ends up being like $70 with tax and shipping and everything. And we had our first box last week, and oh my gosh, it was so good. Every single meal was delicious. Every single meal actually was the same amount of time that the card said it was going to be, which always was an issue for us with both Good Food and HelloFresh. It would say it's going to be 20 minutes and it took 40. But these ones actually were like 20 minutes. It literally took 20 minutes. 30 minutes took 30 minutes. So it's amazing. And yeah, we really enjoyed it. So we actually ended up, we weren't going to order a box every week, but we just ordered a box for this coming week as well. So far we really like it. I really like the ideal of like not having to do a huge grocery shop. We just kind of are buying just like stuff for lunches and then like snacks now. It's been really nice. So if you're interested, again, for the third time, not sponsored, but if you're interested in trying Chef's Plate, I think everybody, like anybody who has Chef's Plate, gets like a code. I can leave my code in the description, and if you want to try it out, I think you get like a free box, and then I would get a free box as well. Anyways, no pressure, not sponsored, but just so you know, in case you're interested. For favorite products, I literally have no new products. I told you guys at the beginning of this year, I said I probably won't have a lot of new products to talk about, and it's holding true. The only thing I can think of is that really, like, when we were at Disney World, there were things that like I kept pulling out that I was like, oh, I always bring this to Disney. I'm always gonna continue to bring this to Disney. I think I might do like a whole video on like Disney products that like I can't live without type deal. If you guys are interested in something like that, let me know. But really that's only products I could think of was like stuff that I bring to Disney all the time. But like that's not like a day-to-day product that I really would like talk about in this video. So yeah, anyways, let me know if you want to see something like that. Oh, journal spreads. I gotta get my journal. Okay, so every month I like to share a few spreads in my journal that were my favorite for the month. This was, I think, I forget who had mentioned that I should do this. But to who you are, you know who you are, because you're the only person that mentioned it. Thank you for mentioning that, because I'm annoyed I forget your name of who it was. But anyways, what I like to do is just kind of share some of my favorite spreads for the month. So let's go through a lot. Honestly, I haven't done a lot in the journal this month because a lot of my creativity brain has been going to the vlogs, obviously. And a lot of my spreads really are just like backdating Disney. So I guess honestly, I'll just show you all the Disney ones because I might as well. Here is page number 1. This was like our travel page and like check-in day kind of, or check-in day and then like kind of day 1. And then this rolls in also to day 1. It's very scrapbooky. Like it's all just like scrapbook type stuff. This was, I think actually this is probably my favorite page. Our Festival of the Arts page. Festival of the Arts page, I did one of these little like flippy things of like the little, what's this called? Festival passport. Cut up some stuff. Very cute. This is again from our little off day. We had like a dinner at Narcoossee's, and I ended up being able to take home the menu, which is so fun. The waiter was so nice and he let me take one home, so I put it in the journal. Put some pictures here of the 4 of us, and then we did the after hours event. Just this one. This one's half done. I haven't even added much to it, but it's our Animal Kingdom. I gotta put pictures on here still, but I gotta print them out. But yeah, those are all the spreads so far that I've done this month. Like I said, I've been kind of slacking in behind, but I don't want to go further in my journal until I have my like other spreads in, you know? I don't want to get too ahead of myself and then have to backdate too much. I don't know. Anyways, but getting chunky. And then quickly, let's talk about books. I've been in a reading slump, if I'm so for real. So I listened to on audio Good Half Gone by Taryn Fisher. It literally took me a month and a half to get through this. I started it in the middle of January and I finished it, I think, last week. It wasn't great. It wasn't anything super exciting or riveting. Normally I like this kind of like culty, missing person, like weird stuff going on type deal. This one just didn't do it for me and I don't know why. But anyways, it was okay. I think I gave it like 2.75 maybe. Also started 7 Days in June, which was our February book club book. My friends and I, we have like a book club, just like local, like here at home. But we had 7 Days in June was our book club book, and I didn't finish it, but I'm not DNFing it. I do still want to read it. I just, again, I was in a slump, couldn't get into it. And then literally like the day of book club, I think I got like 20 to 25% in. So I still do want to read it. But I just haven't got there yet. That's all basically my favorites for the month. Again, not too much exciting to report. I literally have just been like locked in on my computer with, you know, editing and stuff. So here we go. Okay, let's jump into some of the questions. I did ask only like recently on my, like I just posted on my Instagram and then started filming. So I don't know if there's going to be a ton of questions on here. If there's not, I'll jump back to my January question box and see if there's any other questions that people want me to answer. Oh, there's a handful. Oh, we'll be fine. Okay, so again, just random questions. I'll just pick probably a handful. We're only at, yeah. Okay, how did you and Austin meet / relationship timeline? Okay, the thing I asked, on my Instagram was, because there's so many new people and new faces around here, I did say like, ask me whatever, and then that way you can get to know me a little bit more if you have only started watching me through Disney vlogs. If you don't really know me, then this is, you know, our opportunity to get to know each other a little more. So, how did you and Austin meet / relationship timeline? So Austin and I met in high school. We met in grade 9. I wouldn't even call us really acquaintances in grade 9 or grade 10. Like we kind of hung out with some of the same people, but not a lot. Austin was more of a jock. I was more of a theater kid. You know, it was just one of those moments. And then we ended up taking the same, it was like for the second half of the year in grade 11, we took the same, it was called like, we all called it 4 cred. It was 4 credits, all the same classmates, all the same teachers. And it was just like just this really tight knit group of people. And then at the end of throughout the year, we did like fun little like trip things. And then at the end of the year, we did like a big trip abroad. So we went to Costa Rica at the end of our grade 11 year. It was like the group of like, I think there was 20 of us. Like it was a small group. So Austin and I did that same class. So that was the second half of grade 11. But at the beginning of grade 11, because so many of us were taking all the same classes at the end of the year, we took a lot of the same classes at the beginning of the year just because that's like how the schedules were able to work out. So Austin and I started to become pretty close friends at the beginning of grade 11 because we had a lot of the same classes. And then when we were in the same 4 credit class at the second half of grade 11, we got to be like really, really close. Like we were like basically best friends. Like I would consider him my best friend at that time. No like relationship or anything between us then other than friendships. I secretly was like, I love him, but like cannot say anything because don't want to ruin our friendship, blah, blah, blah. So then we were friends all through grade 11 and then into grade 12. Starting at grade 12, we kind of had a little bit of like a falling out a little bit. There was like a little bit of, you know, I think there was a little bit of that like teenage tension, a little bit miscommunication, blah, blah, blah. And then towards like the middle of grade 12, Austin came crawling back, apologized, said, I'm sorry, I want to be your friend. I miss having you in my life, blah, blah, blah. And then at the very last month of our grade 12 year, we started dating. And then we dated for a year and a couple months. We got engaged, which is crazy fast for people our age, us, people around us, like in our area. Like I know some areas, like people just get married young, like that's really normal. But that's not normal really here, but whatever, we got engaged and then we were engaged for, I think we were engaged for 2 years. Then we got married in August of 2018 and Austin and I have been married now for 6.5 years, almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years this year, right? 7 years this year. So yeah, that's our relationship timeline. It moved quick, but it was just, I don't know, it was like we were like just really close friends. So it was like when we started dating, we didn't really have to like get to know each other that well because we already really like knew each other front and back type deal. But yeah, that's us. I think that's also why we just have like a very like fun relationship is because we started really like just based on friendship. Yeah, it was awesome. Really good. Very thankful. Love him. If you could relive one day of the most recent trip, which would you choose? I would either choose, I would either, okay, I can't decide. I would either choose our Magic Kingdom day, so our first full day, or the second day, our full day at Epcot. Those both were just like really, really fun days, high energy. We did like full days in the parks. Go, go, go. It was just like a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of good memories. So those would be like my two. I can't decide. Okay, so a few different people asked this in this question, but also just like in general, I've gotten a few comments and a few questions just like in my DMs about when I'm going to post the next Disney vlogs. So if you are new here, I have always had an upload schedule. So I always, regardless of what the videos are, there is always going to be a video going up on a Monday or a Thursday. If there is not, I will let you guys know. And it will either be on my Instagram or on here, like the community tab. So I always will upload Monday and Thursdays. When I have Disney vlogs going out, the Disney vlogs always go out on Thursdays. Every Thursday, you will expect a Disney vlog. And then on Mondays, it's kind of just like a weekend vlog or a weekly vlog or a sit down video or whatever. And the reason that I do that is because I, one, like to take my time to edit the Disney vlogs. I like to, you know, spend a lot of hours editing each vlog. And I feel like if I was to upload 2 of them a week, I wouldn't be able to spend as much time as I'd want on them. Also, I like filming just my daily life and I like uploading that stuff, and that's kind of always how my channel has been. So that's just like, that just is what it is. We also only really go to Disney once a year. This is an off year where we got to go, you know, twice in a really close amount of time. So I like, the reason for my Disney vlogs to only go up once a week is that it really extends my trip for me. Like I get to relive it for weeks and weeks and weeks after, and that's just how I like to do it. So every Thursday you will be getting a Disney vlog. I think we had 7 days total. So you still have, what's that? I think you still have 6 videos to come, 5 videos to come. So don't worry, 5 more weeks. You got lots of Disney stuff coming. I get this question a lot too. How do you budget or save for Disney trips? So, just to be frank, we don't do a lot other than like just want to go to Disney. So a lot of people who go out drinking or go out to have like dinners out or go do like long weekend trips, places where you're spending money and going to places, anything like that, like we don't do that. We stay at home. We're very much homebodies. We like to be at home. We like to do things at home. So I think just naturally we like save money by not doing other things, and we just kind of prioritize Disney instead. And like, I wish I could tell you, you know, like every month we set aside X amount of money to go to Disney World. And I guess we kind of do, because we pay for DVC still. Like it's something that we pay monthly for, because we're paying it off still, because we only joined DVC a year and a half ago. So it's something we're still paying off. So I guess like technically, yeah, like we're budgeting that amount of money every month for our hotel, I guess. But other than that, like we really, it's not like we're like, oh, we're setting aside X amount of money to go to Disney. It's just like, we know that we have a Disney trip coming up or whatever, and we just kind of don't spend money at home so that we can spend money when we go to Disney World. A lot of people want to know how we got into going to Disney, what made me want to start going to Disney. So when I was 8, I went to Disney for the first time with my mom and my dad, and I loved it so much. It was like the best trip ever. We went literally the week of Christmas. It was absolute chaos. I don't remember much of it, but I do remember that I just loved it so much. And then we didn't go again until I was 16. My mom ended up surprising me like a month before my birthday, and she was like, we're gonna go to Disney. So we ended up going to Disney, and I loved it so much. And after like that trip, I said to my mom, I said, I don't care. I want to come when I'm an adult and I have my own money to spend. I want to come here every single year. And my mom said, good luck finding somebody who wants to do that with you. And I'm very lucky because I was able to find that. And that was my fluke, because Austin and I had never been to Disney World until our honeymoon together. So Austin had been once when I think he was 1, like he does not remember it at all. And I think they only went for like a day or something. But yeah, so we went to Disney on our honeymoon. We did a full 2 weeks, 14 days. And it was amazing. And after like the second day, Austin was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, I get why people like to come. I get whatever. And before we went, I said to him, like, I want to go every year. And he was like, maybe we can go every 5 years. And we quite literally have been once a year ever since, if not twice. And the only year we didn't go was during COVID, when we literally couldn't travel from Canada to the States. So yeah, we love going to Disney. We'd love to hear more about your career and how you landed on your career path. Okay, so my career path is fairly long, I feel like, but to try and just condense it. So when I was in high school, I really just knew I wanted to go away to school. I didn't want to do like a community college. I wanted to go away. So I ended up going to Humber College in Toronto, which is about an hour from like my hometown. So went there, took public relations. Couldn't tell when I got down there if I hated Toronto or if I hated my course. So I ended up moving home after my first semester. I dropped out, moved back home, worked for a year, and then went back to school in like my hometown college, and ended up getting a advanced diploma in business marketing because it's very similar to PR. It just wasn't like obviously a full diploma. It was a like excelled program at Humber for PR, so it would have been a degree at Humber. Anyways, diploma here. So I finished my schooling here, started working as a like marketing person for like just like a local kind of business, which I don't know, it's a long story, but maybe if I tried something more specific in Toronto, I would have liked it a bit more because it's better, and like it's not a small town where it's like it was just me in the marketing department of this like company. Anyways, didn't love it. Decided that I wanted to go into something in healthcare because recently I had just like experienced some family members go through some health scares, and I was just like in awe of the way that the nurses treated them, and I was just like, I really want to help people. So I kind of toyed with the idea of either going into nursing or going into dental hygiene. Reason for dental hygiene was because my mom is actually a dental hygienist. And I used to always say, I don't want to do what my mom does. I want to be my own person. And lo and behold, I ended up picking dental hygiene. The first 2 weeks of being in school, I was like, this is what I meant to do. I love it so much. So I finished dental hygiene and I graduated, and I am now working. I've been working as a dental hygienist for 3 years and I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I'm so thankful for it. It's very hard on your body though, and I don't know how my mom has done it for the amount of years that she has done it, because already I'm at 3 years and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do this for another 20 years? But you know, we're gonna take it year by year. Fun question. I'd love to know what all your tattoos are / the inspo behind them. Fun. Of course, I'm wearing a long sleeve today, so I can't really show you. I guess I can let me just go throw a t-shirt on. Actually, I have a tank top on. Hold on. Okay, ignore the bra straps because obviously I was wearing a sweater and I wasn't planning on wearing my tank top. But okay, so my tattoos. My first tattoo ever was this tattoo here. And I always just call this my Canada tattoo. I wanted something that was very like Canadian. The mountains, the ocean, the whales, the trees. I don't know. I wanted it. I love it still. I'm very happy that I still love it. I literally got it when I was 18. So I'm very happy that I still love it because there was definitely some tattoos I wanted to get at 18 that I never ended up getting, and thank God I didn't. But this is one that I do love and people still compliment me on it all the time. So love that one. Okay. From there, I genuinely don't remember the order. Oh, no, I do. My one on my back. So I have a big tattoo on my back, which is actually the tangled sun, but then it has other kind of like flourishes with it. I'll have to put a picture in. But yeah, it's just really the tangled sun. At the time when I got it, I just wanted the line work, but recently I've been thinking about actually adding like shading and stuff to it because I feel like it would just kind of like make it look a little bit more finished. But I do love it. It's like one of my favorite tattoos, but I always forget that I have it because it's on my back. Okay, from there, I actually don't remember the order of what I have tattoos. So on my arm here is a little forget-me-not, and I have this matching with my best friend Kristen. She's been my best friend ever since we were in grade 4 and grade 5. So yeah, we got little forget-me-nots together. This was like a very last minute decision. One day we were just hanging out and I was like, she has a ton of tattoos. And I was just like, do you want to go get tattoos? And she's like, yeah, let's go. So we ended up getting little matching forget-me-nots. On this arm, again, I have a little rose. This one is obviously just a little rose, and then there is a little A. It's a little bit blown out now because it's been a few years, but it's a little A, obviously for Austin. I know everybody says, don't get tattoos about your significant others, but you know, I did it. But I got the rose because Beauty and the Beast is one of his favorite Disney movies. And then also in our wedding bouquet, we had Sahara roses, which I feel like are very similar to like this type of rose. So that is what I got for that one. And then this one, which is beside my little mountains. This is the second star to the right tattoo, or stars, I guess, from Peter Pan. And I have this matching with another one of my best friends, Alexis. And I got this in Texas when we visited her for the first time. So yeah, this one's really special to me. I love this one so much. And yeah, this one, I get kind of emo talking about it because I don't get to see Alexis very often, obviously, because she lives in Texas. So it's very nice to have this. And every time I see it, I think of her. So love that. And then I have my vine. I basically just wanted this because I liked the look of it. But I also, it's kind of like a Taylor Swift tattoo because of Ivy, the song. So anyways, that's my vine and it wraps all the way around and I love it. And then I call these my little fairy teeth. Let me get a better angle. I call these my little fairy teeth because these are not anatomically correct for regular teeth. They're a little bit more gremlin-y, I would assume. But yeah, I call them my little fairy teeth and I love them so much. And they're just like little dainty with a little string. And yeah, I love them. Again, it's one of those ones that like I kind of just liked. And I mean, obviously I'm a dental hygienist and I deal with teeth, so kind of works. But yeah, I have that. And then I think my only last one is the one on the back of my arm, which again is one I forget about all the time. This is one that Austin's sister and I have matching together, and it's the 3 stars from the folklore cardigan from Taylor Swift. So we both have the stars on the back of our arm. I will say this is one that really just drives me crazy because of the blown outness on the corner of this one star. But you live and you learn. That's what happens when you get tattoos. Sometimes stuff like that happens. But yeah, I love all my tattoos. I don't think I have any other ones. But yeah, I definitely want more. I'm not in any like rush to get anything. Kind of what happens is something will just pop in my head and then I'll just go get it. The reason I haven't really gotten a lot done recently is because I kind of like to stick with the same artists other than like the sporadic tattoos that I have, like the ones that were like last minute, because like my vine and my teeth are by the same girl, and then this one and the one on my back are by the same girl. So I just like to find like an artist that I like, and both of them have moved away, so gotta find somebody new. But yeah, I think that's everything that I'm going to answer for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was fun kind of talking about favorites and highlights of the month, but also answering a few little questions. And again, you will see the remainder of the Disney vlogs coming up every Thursday, at 10 a.m. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you are new here, I really appreciate you guys being here. This is like my favorite thing ever is posting on YouTube. So it really just means a lot that you even thought that you'd want to subscribe. So I appreciate it, and I hope you guys stick around and enjoy the other content that I post other than just Disney. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.